'Cause the Love Shack is a little old place where we can get together. Love Shack, baby, please. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Woo! Okay, that's enough of that. Hi guys, welcome to Belle's Bargains. My name's Amy. You're gonna see why I sang that song. So I'm doing my voiceovers and all that and editing my video, and I realized I completely forgot to tell you guys to listen for all the voiceovers so you can find out some really interesting tidbits about that song. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Okay, I'm coming back now. All right, so guess what today is? Hey, if you're new to the channel, there's a few things you should know. That I live in Mexico, and I moved here 6 months ago with my husband for his work. We're just here temporarily, not for the rest of our lives. And so I didn't bring all my craft supplies with me, and when I got to Mexico, there was a lot of trash. So I decided I would start doing trash to treasure, and I found a 22 peso store, which is very similar to a Dollar Tree store. And so occasionally I get some stuff from that. So there's a couple of those items in today's challenge, but let me just tell you about today's challenge. It is called Be My Valentine. It's a Can't Sleep Creations collaboration. That's a tongue twister. Can I just say that? Okay, but let me just, first of all, I think it's Jody from Southern Seasons that does I don't know which one's doing the graphics, but they're always really, really good. So this is Be My Valentine. So it's Jody at Southern Seasons, Up All Night DIY, and Shabby Meets Bling, and all three of those channels will be down below in my description box. You know the routine. And what else will be down there? What? Yeah, the playlist. Okay. So this is I love this group. They're very talented, very talented, very talented. And so, oh, you're so sweet, Ferdinand. Oh, also, if you're new to the channel, that's Ferdinand, my talking cow. And if you go way back when I was in America, I have Effingham, who's my talking cow there. And when we came to Mexico, we had to find his cousin, Ferdinand, which we did. And now Ferdinand hangs out with me, huh? I know you want to meet Effingham. It's going to happen one day, I promise. Okay, so this challenge is called Be My Valentine. And so, okay, Love Shack is, oh wait, no. Hold on, let me just show you what I made. So I said I found a 22 peso store, and occasionally I find things there that are so similar to the Dollar Tree. So 22 peso store is a Walmart store here in Mexico, and they get like their Dollar Tree things, like this little sign, which is a slatted MDF heart sign. Okay, look what I did to it though. What? I know, that's trash, trash. So, and then this pick came from my 22 peso store. Anyway, because I have no florals here. Like all my craft supplies. I have half a garage full of craft supplies back in Arizona. And here I have cheap acrylic paints, some cheap brushes, some pencils, some watercolor pencils, markers. Yeah, that's about it. A little bit of clay, which I used the clay today. Okay, so anyway, this is my first piece. Let me just, do you love the ombre? I did that with watercolor pencils. I know, so hold on. Let me just, I can't get this thing to, it keeps wanting to twist on me. Hold on, I'll show you how I made this. There it is with nothing on it, my little heart. So this is a watercolor pencil, and it's sort of the burgundy-ish color. Red, I guess. So I lightly do the first one, and a little bit darker, and so on, right? And I'm just gonna keep going. And now, then, I don't know when I do it. I hate doing voiceovers, I should have watched it first, sorry. So I just keep going darker. But you could do this, like I said, with a crayon. It would kind of have the same effect. But because this is a watercolor pencil, I'm actually going to put water on this. Oh, I know what I do. I go and I get my coffee stain in a minute. But first, we're going to make the word love. I got to be honest. I was thinking about just outlining the heart. And then I was twisting it and I was like, wait, that looks like an L. And I was like, oh, I could do the word love. So I switched my direction. I'm glad I did because I think it looks really kind of cool. So this is the wire that I find on the side of the road constantly. I'm constantly picking it up. So now I've got my little L, and we're going to now write out love. If you ever wanted to try this, I'm going to give you a really easy trick. So I'm doing this I'm handwriting in my head, but what you could do is trace your heart
and then cursive out your love, and then match your wire to what's written on the paper. I'm just doing this, again, just visually in my head, you know, how would I handwrite out love? Okay, so anyway, so I pretty much, luckily I had the perfect length wire, but of course I could always cut off if I had too much. Okay, now I've got my coffee stain, and I'm just taking this around the edges and over my burgundy watercolor pen. So the reason I'm using coffee stain, because it's instant coffee that it's a stain, and it was free because it was here when I moved in, and we don't use instant coffee. But when I take that brownish stain and take it over the burgundy, it vintages up that burgundy a little bit, which is perfect because then it goes better with the wire. So, well, that makes sense. I'm kind of a big on like keeping my color schemes in line. So that wire is very vintage looking, so I'm just pulling the color, just making it look, I guess, I'm not sure I'm explaining it well, but a little more vintage by putting some brown into my red, pink ombre effect there. Okay, so then once I do this, though the string on this, see how it has the twist above there? You're gonna see, and I couldn't get that out. I'm using just, this is an E6000, which I've never even used, but this is 5000, which I think is funny. So it's my Mexico 5000 because I got it at the grocery store, literally. Anyway, and it works okay, but it hardens super fast, so I have to get it really quickly on there, and it's really gummy. It's like gum. It really is like gum, and then it doesn't dry clear. But whatever, I'm making do with what I have. So I did recently find a couple of picks at the Dollar Tree store, and so I got those out, and I'm just going to add a little bit here because the twist would not come out of the hanger, and so I was like, oh, okay, that's all right, I'll use it to my advantage and add a little bit of greenery on this without taking away from the heart form. Can I tell you, sometimes I find it irritating when people add greenery onto a heart and then the heart form, you can't even see it, it's gone, because they'll put it at the top. So put it at the top, but it's above the form. And then I had this little piece of jute string that came off something, and I used that to tie it on there, and that's it. It's all done, and I love it.
Pretty easy. Now here's the thing, I used the watercolor pencils, but let me just talk to you guys. So this is an ombre using the exact same item. Like it could have been a chalk, would have been a little harder with marker. Definitely could have done it with like a crayon, a little bit harder with, anyway. So you can do paint. This would have been easy with paint. So ombre, just remember, you just go slightly darker, slightly darker, slightly darker. But what I love is after, I probably said it on the voiceover, so shut up now, Amy. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is a little more sort of a romantic Valentine craft from my lovely hubby, Marcus. So since we've been here in Mexico, he's good about giving flowers. Does that even make sense? He's good about giving flowers. I mean, no, Ferdinand, we've been over this. See, Ferdinand loves to smell flowers. If you don't know the children's book, hence his name. I know you, and maybe for Valentine's you'll get some flowers to smell. So anyway, but here in Mexico, when you drive down into Cabo San Lucas, which is where we're at, there's people selling florals on the corner, or if you go into a restaurant in the touristy areas, they come in and they sell flowers. So we were out one night for karaoke because we go to a local karaoke place. It's all locals, like we're the only Americans. It's hysterical. And then I sing Hotel California and they love it. I'll do a video on it. Anyway, so, and Mark's brought me a couple flowers. He came home one day, he brought me a flower. So I've gotten these 3 roses since we got to Mexico. And then one bunch had these little, I don't know what they are. But anyway, I hung them up to dry. And so I made this cute little Valentine's wall hanging for displaying his little dried flowers. Now, trash, you know, like the last one, it was the wire is all trash that I found. This one is the flowers aren't trash, but but the book page is, I've said this before, there's a local bookstore and they have free books, this thing bin out front, you can just take the books. So I get the junkier books, or the books that are just, you know, they're not classics by any means. I would never destroy a classic. So this is just a book that I've taken apart for a couple different crafts. And I just think this came out really sweet, really sweet. And it's housing Marcus comes home and he goes, well, where'd you get the flowers? And I said, well, I dried the ones you gave me. And he didn't know, because we have like a laundry room closet. I'm not kidding, it's a closet with a washer and dryer anyway. And I had hung him in there to dry. So this is really cute. Let me show you how I made this. Very simple.
So first I'm taking 2 book pages and I'm gonna glue them together just so I have more of a square as opposed to a rectangle to make my cone out of, because I want the corner to stick up the back. You'll see when I twirl it. And I'm ripping the edge on the one side because I want ripped edges. So see how I have a point on my cone, kind of like is it a waffle cone for an ice cream? Looks kind of like that. And then I'm ripping all the edges because I just like that, the way that looks. Then once I get my cone pretty much figured out, I'm gonna throw some, it's just Elmer's glue. Well, not Elmer's, it's just white glue. And glue that down, and because these are pages, it glues really easily. And then I fold the very bottom in. Now these are the roses that Marcus gave me, and they're all dried. I'm just gonna trim them and put them inside of this. Do a little finagling how I want them in there, and then add the yellow little flowers in there as well. And now I have a nice little holder for the flowers that he's given me to hang up. Hairspray, what I tell you, hairspray, hairspray, hairspray. So now this is a piece that I got at my little 22 peso store, and I took the ribbon off of it, so I didn't really show you all that, and I glued all of it together so it was longer. Then I had a leaf that had fallen off, and I just thought that looked cool, glued on there. And now I'm taking my red watercolor pencil, and I've scribbled and I add water to it to make it watercolor so that I can outline all of my torn parts on the pages. It's sort of a romantic feel. And then I go in and I paint a couple of hearts on here. And I pull out my yellow watercolor pencil and I add some yellow to it. So all I'm doing is just like little hearts with the watercolor. I do like 3 of them, odd numbers. What do I always tell you, odd numbers? And then I just did little dots of like little triple little dots in a cluster with the yellow. It's very subtle. It's just the slightest little bringing in of the yellow. Anyway, and that's it. And then this one is done. But I think it came out really cute. And I do take my pencil, my watercolor pencil at the end, and outline my hearts very lightly. So I don't have watercolor, so the watercolor pencils here, all I do is scribble and then add the water to it, and then it's like watercolor, because that's actually, you know, what you're supposed to do with it. So it's kind of cool. I do like these. Anyway, I don't know why I'm showing you so much of me putting the yellow dots on. But then, like I said, I outline the, what do I do? Oh, I was just adding a tiny bit of yellow below the pink on the rip part of it, and then outline, and then that's it. This is done. Simple, but cute.
Now you got my tidbit about spraying hairspray on florals. So on dried flowers, it works phenomenal. I'm sure most people do, but if you don't know it, let me be the one to tell you. It works phenomenal because these will stay together longer. They won't dry out so much because they're almost like glued together with the hairspray. Okay, let me show you my last craft, because this is the one that's super cool. Like, it's super cool. I'm actually really proud of myself. I think I did a fabulous job. So here's the backstory. I went into the 22 peso store and I found this house form, just MDF house form, like they sell at Dollar Tree. And at the top of it, there was a little heart cut out. So I was like, I'll grab that. Maybe I'll make something for Valentine's Day. So I made A love shack is a little old place where we can get together. Yeah, it's my love shack. Isn't it cute? Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, if you watched my video last week, the challenge, and I made the bowl out of cardboard, if you haven't seen it, you should go look at that. I had cut these small slits to weave the cardboard. Now I have a problem because I'm using trash, that if I don't want to throw anything away. So because I had those small slits already cut, strips, I'm saying slits, but strips from this thin cardboard, I was like, I really want to use those. And I was like, I know, I'll brick the front of the house. So that's all cardboard. I made bricks on the front of the house, and then I made the I should point my light down just a little bit to shine light on this. Sorry guys, to shine light on this. Oh my gosh, I should stop my camera when I'm doing this, but you guys know I turn it on to record, that's it. Okay, so see that? Look at that roof. So, let me show you how I made it.
All right, so this is just one of those funky signs from my 22 peso store here. And I'm just gonna deconstruct it and start building my little shack on it. Before we get to that, I thought, why don't I give you a little info on the Love Shack. So it was recorded in 1989, released June of 1989 to be exact. And interestingly enough, the B-52s were kind of out of the limelight at that point. They were more popular in the mid-80s. We'll all remember Rock Lobster. Anyway, so this was sort of a comeback song for them. And as it turned out, Love Shack is considered the band's signature song, or one of their signature songs. It's been a concert staple since they released it. And of course, we hear it at every wedding reception ever, right? So it reached the Billboard Hot 100. Became, I think it was number 3 on US Billboard's Hot 100. It was named one of the 365 songs of the century by the Recording Industry Association of America, and one of the 500 greatest songs of all time by Rolling Stone. Okay, so where did the song come from? Well, it is believed that it was inspired by a club outside of Athens, Georgia called the Hawaiian Hali. And it was an African-American club that had a lot of good shows, and it looked like a shack. You wouldn't expect it to be what it was. When you opened the door, they said there was just wild bands playing. Anyway, supposedly that's where they were inspired to write that song. All right, so that's what we know about the Love Shack. Was a little old place where we can get together. Let's go back to my crafting now. All right, so obviously we can see I've built my bricks with my cardboard, and now I'm building my roof. What I did with the cardboard for the roof was I was just sort of scoring it with the scissors to give it a little dimension in there. Very subtle little touch, by the way. And I didn't paint the roof. Of course, I didn't need to because you couldn't see the background. But the bricks, I did the white. Now this is a marker. So I color all the tops of my bricks with a marker, and I do the same with the roof, a different color. But now I'm gonna go in and add all the accents. I mean, it looks actually kind of cool, just like that, but I know I need to darken up the roof. And anyway, so I just start adding. So on this, I've used marker, acrylic paint, and colored pencils. And all I'm doing here is just taking all 3 of those elements and adding all of my dimension in. So I'm certainly outlining all the different pieces on the roof. If you notice, the roof wasn't set sizes like the bricks, because roofs aren't like that. They have, so there's, the lines in here aren't exactly in the same space all the way up. And you can see as I've gotten along in here, this is becoming to look more realistic. This is my coffee stain, because now I need to take that white in the background and just dirty it up a little bit, right? Just like on a regular black wall. Now I did not show you all the different aspects that I did for my shadowing on my roof and my bricks, just because that would have taken a lot of time. But just know that, you know, this is going to be a personal preference how you do it. And I always say layer, layer, layer colors. Okay, now this is the clay that I'm going to use to make my door. And what I did was I cut out a template from a piece of paper first and sized that up on this to make sure that that was the size that I wanted. And once I've rolled out the dough, the clay, I'm just trimming it there to follow the template that I've already made. Okay, so then I roll this up off the counter, and then I put it on the back. I'm like, what am I doing? This isn't the side that I'm doing. It was so funny. And then I literally start to design my door. I measured everything, started designing. I'm gonna put my lines in it, and then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? So after I do this, I have to lift it up and then put it on the front of my little house here. Although this back side, I can certainly add some stuff to and make it a double-sided Valentine's. All right, so now I've put it on the front, and then I realized I don't want my lines that close together on my faux panels on my door. And so I go a little bit bigger. I'm glad that I did. I like that look a lot better. And then I'm putting like little slices in, just like wood, and little sort of notches, like a knot in the wood, which you'll see when you paint it. And I'm rolling out to do just a trim around the door. Do that. I'm going to cut it off. This is really the first time I've really played with clay. This was kind of fun. And then I'm going to go around the window. Now at first I was just going to follow that heart, and then I ended up doing like the little loop-de-loo at the end, and I kind of like it. I don't know, it just adds like this little element to it, sort of an unsuspecting element to put this little tail on the heart, but I kind of like it. And so I get that all down, and I added a tiny piece of clay around the bottom of it too, which I don't show you, but I just rolled out a piece and put it down there, and that was so that I could put the rocks into it, which I'll do later. Okay, now I'm going to put this sign up that says The Love Shack. So I grabbed my dirty wire, and I'm just going to make a little sign hanger. And so I twist it around, and then I go to the other end and I twist it around. So now what I've added onto this piece is multiple elements. So we have cardboard, we have paint, we have marker, we have pencil, we have clay, and now we're going to have wire. And then we're going to have a black tag that I'm going to make the sign out of that says Love Shack. So I'm just doing this like it's going to look like it's a little hanging sign above the door. So my little loop-de-loos, I'm just checking my measurements there to make sure that we're all good. And then I've cut out my template with the paper for the size of my sign. I can't tell you enough, you guys. Templates are amazing. Just draw it, cut it out, whatever. And then that's when I'm going to push my little sign into the wire holder. And now I'm going to make the smallest little S-hooks in the whole wide world. Like literally, they're little S-hooks that I'm going to hang my sign on with. This took a little bit because they're small. I don't have any smaller pliers. And the wire, when you get that small, it gets a little harder to bend. It's fairly easy. There you go, my little S-hooks. Okay, now I've used my template. I cut out my sign, and I practiced my spacing for how I'm going to write the Love Shack on there. And I do it with a white pencil. And now I'm going in with my white gel pen. So it's going to say the Love Shack. I go over and over to make sure that I get it bright enough. I think this came out really, really cute. The sign just sort of like takes it over the top. I think it just makes it so Valentine's, right? And then just go around and dot all that. So that's pretty simple. If you're not comfortable with your handwriting, you can always trace, and then you can write it, do the old-fashioned way of tracing it. And then you scribble the lead on the back, and then you write over it. Okay, anyway, someday I'll do that for you. All right, and then I'm just gluing down all my little clay pieces with my Mexico 5000. And then I'm just sticking it under there. This stuff is not the best, but I haven't spent a whole bunch of time like researching fantastic glues down here. And I've not seen E6000, which is what everybody uses in the States. I've never used that either. I just bought the cement stuff from the Dollar Tree. Anyway. Okay, so right now I'm just taking the clay that I have around the window, and I'm just sort of indenting it a little bit to make it look almost like it's a wood. So it's not so roly-poly clay looking. And now I'm going to paint all of these the Valentine's red, but it's just my base paint. I'm going to go do more in there, right? And I really want to age up this door and really show all the lines that are in it, and also all of the crevices around the border on the door. By the way, in this view, you can see the white piece of clay that's on the bottom of the piece, which was my base for putting the rocks into when I add the rocks. So anyway, now I'm just going to add a bunch of different colors. I didn't waste your time watching all of that, but one of the things you always want to do is shadow all the outside edges of your pieces. So because there's dimension there, and so you're always going to be darker where one portion of a building meets another portion, like a windowsill or a door or something like that. And then I'm just going around and darkening all of this up just a little bit and keep adding and adding and adding until I get it to where I want it. Now, I decided just to do a little bit of whitewash on the bricks. This was, I think my bricks look wonderful the way they are, but because this was like a Valentine's project and I had put the white on the sign, I really thought that I wanted just to brighten it up a little bit and give it a little bit of shading by putting the light on the one side of the roof. And you know how old bricks will have like that whitewash on them almost. Anyway, I think it looks cool. And then finally, I'm just taking my marker here just to darken up the slats in the door. And it really, really did help to bring that to life, right? It just, now it looks like this old wood door that was painted red. I think this is really cool. And I've also painted the bottom on the bottom piece now. So this is a little bead that fell off of a piece of jewelry that I had, and I keep playing with those beads, and it was red, and I was like, that's the perfect doorknob, so that's what I put on there. And I'm just adding my little rocks here, just to the bottom, again, just to give it a little bit of character. And I'm shadowing this, so I'm taking black paint and we're just shadowing along those rocks, make them look dirty, and also the base of this project, so it's going to be a little bit darker. Now, I'm just touching up as I go along here, sorry. I cut so much of this out, you guys, because you just didn't need to see me doing everything. Oh, this is where I'm really doing the shadowing. So I'm hitting all of the spots on the door that were, anyway. Okay, I'm measuring where I'm going to put my little S-hooks, and I wanted to be really careful because this is pretty thick paper here. It was actually a Harley Davidson clothing tag, and so I put my little holes in it and then put the S-hooks and put it on the sign. This is just this little piece of wire, I don't know what you call it, it's wires wrapped in whatever. Anyway, I found it on the street, it looked like a broom, so that's what I'm doing. So I just painted the black on the handle with some paint just to make it look a little more wood color, and then I added some string around it like it was a, you know, woven broom. And then I'm going to take some dirty paint water that I have and paint up the string that I put around it just to make it look, you know, dirty. And then I'm going to glue it leaning up against my door there. By the way, I didn't show it, but see the little heart I added to the door made out of wire? It's just another element for the love shack, right? Okay, I think that's just about it. We're done with this thing. I think it came out so cute. What do you guys think? I'm gluing it down with my Mexico 5000. Okay, anyway, I love it. I hope you guys do too. This is like my favorite.
The Love Shack. Love Shack. What I should have done, and maybe I will, I should put like a little sign on it, like right here. Oh, I always do this. I should put a little sign on it. It's with a big R. And it says established 2021, because that's the year we got married. Marcus and I got married. Okay, well, I didn't. Anyway, I didn't show you, as I said, all of the elements of this because, well, because it takes a while to do all this painting, because this is actual, like, really artistry kind of painting, right? And it looks like old bricks, doesn't it? Yeah, I totally love this. Thing came out really cool. yeah, I think it's really cute. All right, so anyway, let me know which one is your favorite down below. I think I know which one's gonna be everybody's favorite. And this does stand on its own. I don't have any way to show you right now, but it does. And so, yeah, it was a hanging sign. I don't know if I said it, but these little rocks, this is so funny. We went to this landscaping thing to get some plants for his work here. And anyway, this guy gave us his card, but his card was inside this little Ziploc that had itty bitty little tiny rocks in it. I was like, I need those rocks. I know I'll use them for something. Yeah, I still have some left. Anyway, and this trash, I think I said it on the voiceover, but the trash on this one, of course, is the wire sign there with the cute little hooks. Look, it's even got its own hooks and the wire there. And then this little piece of, I don't know what you insulated, it's wrapped wire, you know, with all the wires coming out. But when I found it in the road, I was like, it looks like a broom. Anyway, and then I guess the little rocks are even trash. And the bead, which came off of a broken bracelet. If I said all this in the voiceover, I'm sorry. Because I do voiceovers, I can't remember. But anyway. Okay, so that's it. Everybody, the Love Shack. Okay, everybody, have a great day, great week, great life. I mean, say goodbye to the besties. Now, everybody, do not forget to go down below in my playlist and please check out all of the host channel and then check out that playlist. This is a fun one because it comes on late at night because it's Can't Sleep Creations, which is so true. I cannot even tell you the times. I don't do it here because we're in a smaller place and I'm always worried I'm gonna wake up Marcus. But back in Arizona, I would get up in the middle of the night and go craft in the garage because I keep thinking I'm blocking Ferdinand there. Anyway, so you can't sleep and then you just want to craft. And now what happens is I wake up in the middle of the night and I visualize the entire craft. And then I can't wait to get up in the morning to go get my stuff and start it. So that's kind of how it goes. All right, so let's see. Don't forget, thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks so much, everybody. You can find me. You can follow me. The links are down below for Instagram, for what are the other ones? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Not that I'm posting much on there, but I'm learning. And I also I signed up for Buy Me a Coffee. So anyway, let's see. Everybody, have a great day, a great week, a great life. And as always, from your singing crafty crafter, the Love Shack is a little old place where we can get together in Cabo, Mexico, baby. Okay, because where we are right now. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time here on Bella's Bargains. And once again, goodbye, besties. We'll see ya. Toodles. Thanks for watching. I tried to turn it off and it didn't turn off. I'm going to try this again. Toodles.